Call the regular city council meeting to order. It is Wednesday, August 28 at about 5:30 p.m. All are present except for Mayor Porter. Standard agenda items tonight. Agenda item 1A is approval of the August 14, 2019 council meeting minutes. Those have been in your packets.
So moved.
We have a motion by John. Do we have a second by Jen? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 1B is approval of the August 28, 2019 claims for payment. We will start with Rob.
No questions.
Jen?
No questions.
John?
None, thanks.
Tim?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 1C is open business from the community. Seeing none, we will skip the mayor's report tonight and move to staff reports. Start with Jacob, please.
We just had, our auditors were on site last week, and they went through some of our stuff. It's going to be an ongoing process over the next couple of months. We'll get our finance stuff put together and get our audit report, and it'll be brought in, and that is all I have to report tonight.
Okay, thanks. Travis,
The zip line is up and running.
how's that work?
I personally took the first ride to ensure it was safe. There might be a picture out there. I don't know.
Maybe on Facebook?
I hope not. Our Main Street lighting project is progressing. We got lights going up on the east side of Central Avenue. Concrete is being poured as well for our curbs. We are still waiting on delivery of our light fixtures for 8th and 9th Street on the side streets. So that's why we're concentrating on Central right now. But we had a ship date of August 27th, so I'm hoping for next week or the following that they can get those up and we'll be finished.
Are those decorative or are those?
Those were just straight Cobra head. They're just like the ones east of town on Highway 10.
Okay.
We did purchase new trash receptacles for Central Avenue as well. Those will be set out tomorrow. The old ones, they're starting to rust on the bottom, not looking so good, so we thought we'd spruce up the trash receptacles as well. Good timing for that. 9th Street gas project is about 85% complete. All the pipe is in the ground. Our crews just have 20 services they need to hook up at the customer's gas meter at the house. So construction will begin on our wastewater treatment plant beginning after Labor Day. They'll start with dirt work and footings for the 2 new buildings. And lastly, I'd like to remind residents that the city ordinance for tree branches overhanging the roadway is 15 feet minimum off the road and 8 feet over the sidewalks. With school buses running again, we have many trees that school buses and garbage trucks are hitting. So if they could get out and trim some of their trees, that would be great. That's all I have.
Good. Mike?
We've signed the papers for the closing of the SRF loan for the wastewater treatment plant, so we'll be able to draw down on that as we progress with the project and bills come in. After tonight, we'll send in the closing documents for the electric project loan, and that will come to us all in one lump sum rather than how the SRF is going to be a drawdown loan. We're looking at bids on the sand filters for the big pool. Every spring we get to the point of, are they going to blow out when we turn them on or not? They're rusting. The ones we have are rusting on the bottom. So looking at getting some bids on that. It's a fairly expensive project. And then since we have so many projects going on at the same time and we're trying to get things ready for Labor Day weekend, I really want to thank the city crews, the administrative staff, the management, the police department, all those that are pitching in and crossing lines on what they're supposed to be doing and just getting things ready. So they're doing a great job. And Travis is directing traffic like I've never seen anybody do. So I mean, it's things are going to look good. So.
Larry?
Normal operations, just going out and visiting our businesses, our startups, stuff like that. We did have a couple of prospects come in and tour some buildings last week. And in addition to that, we're looking at some promotional materials, some printed promotional materials. There are continued ads in the Hayward newspaper, and we also have some radio ads going regionally here, talking about not only businesses, but also quality of life in the city of Hawarden. So that's it.
Corey?
I got quite a few things here. First and foremost, like Mike says, we've all been kind of working together with different things with Travis with the tree branches. It's been a problem in town. We found about 5 or 6 different places that the stop signs have actually covered. We have new kids that are just now starting to drive, so please take a little bit of time and get that trimmed up around any signage that we need for our newer drivers. Worked a little bit with Larry here as far as some of the people in buildings. It feels to me like we've moved some mountains lately with some of our corporate properties, getting them cleaned up and really getting ready to showcase the city this weekend. So that's a big win in our book. Been spending a lot of time in the morning and the afternoons up at the high school. If you haven't had the time to go through the new parking lot, it's gorgeous. It was well needed, and making sure the kids know there's been some changes up there. The North Drive has now been closed forever, so it's padlocked, and we won't be having anybody drive that way anymore. We're trying to separate the middle school kids from the high school kids and the parents and the buses and everybody else on Falcon, and just kind of make the flow a little bit better. So just watching that. Other than that, we're ready to go for the weekend and excited to see everybody out and about.
Okay. Anything for council comments? Nope. We will move on to other agenda items. Agenda item number 3 is Resolution 2019-44, a resolution authorizing and approving a loan agreement providing for the issuance and securing of a payment of $2,340,000 of electric revenue bonds. Mike?
This is a continuation of last meeting where we were given the preliminary on the loan for the new transmission line and the south feeder loop. This will be the final resolution on this and allow us to go through with the borrowing and receive the loan. If you remember last meeting, we were given a very favorable interest rate on those, and that'll carry through to this, which we figure will save on our payment about $15,000 a year. So,
Okay. Do we have a motion for Resolution 2019-44?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Olson.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Kurth. Feldhacker.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item number 4 is a second reading of Ordinance 714, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Hayward, Iowa, 2011, amending provisions pertaining to conflict of interest. Mike, anything on this?
what this is it raises the threshold for conflict of interest to $6,000 from $1,500. We still follow all of the regular requirements anyway, but Iowa codification suggests we put all these into our ordinances as well.
Okay. We have a motion by Tim. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Rob. Roll call vote, please.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Clucky.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 5 is a second reading of Ordinance 715, an ordinance amending provisions pertaining to solid waste control. Mike?
This ordinance change clarifies some language of what constitutes solid waste and control, and also recycling. Another pass-through from state law to our ordinances.
Okay. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Rob. Do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Jen. Roll call vote, please.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Kurth. Clucky.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 6 is the second reading of Ordinance 716, an ordinance amending provisions pertaining to operating budget preparation.
This is going to change some of the way we do some of our budgeting. It's going to require some publications. It also is going to limit on how much we can raise our budget from year to year. We won't be allowed to raise it any more than 102% unless we go through a vote and things like that. So it's going to restrict us somewhat. I don't think that we're going to have a huge issue with it. The biggest issue we're going to have is trying to decipher the new code and figure out what we got to do. So there'll be some training before we have to do it.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Jen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. Roll call vote, please.
Clucky? Aye. Olson?
Aye.
Feldhecker?
Aye.
Girth? Bergsma?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 7 is the approval of the hedging agreement by and between Public Energy Facilities Authority and the City of Hayward Municipal Utilities. Mike?
I'm going to defer to Travis on this one.
This is an agreement that we could sign through PIFA. Right now, there's the gas is priced monthly, and this will be able to price it out further so we can buy winter gas sooner. It's a good thing to be able to do. We always buy so much gas in the summer and have it ready to go for winter, so the prices are locked in. There's always a certain percentage that we do that and keep it ready to go, because you never know what prices will do in the winter.
Any questions on that from council? Then I would entertain a motion. We have a motion from Tim. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Rob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 8 is a consent agenda from Thirsty Pigs for outdoor service. Do we have a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved by Tim. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Our next regular city council meeting is September 11th, and with nothing else on the agenda, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by John. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Council's adjourned.
That's about as quick as they've been.